Hello YouTube, it's been a while. Apologies for not posting before, but I have a project on at the moment which is very interesting, very exciting, and I couldn't resist making a video on it. It involves electromagnets, motion detectors, and a giraffe. Okay, I lied about the giraffe, but it does include electromagnets and motion sensors, and it's a really interesting little challenge. You may or may not know, as well as being a bit of a DIY fan, I'm also a landlord, and I recently took on another project, another property, which has in it something called a Jack and Jill shower. Now, it's maybe something that a lot of you haven't heard of. What it basically is a shower which has two doors to it. So you have two rooms, room 1 and room 2, and between those two rooms you have a shower room. And that shower room has a door into room 1 and a door into room 2. So there are two very interesting challenges here which we need to solve. One is security. So if the person in room 1 wants to go into the shower, the person in room 2 wants to make sure that the person in room 1 can't get into their room, so they need to have that door locked. And vice versa. So the first challenge is just making sure that those rooms are secure. That in itself, not a particularly difficult challenge, and in fact, something that has already been solved by the previous landlord. So what the landlord's done is he's put a thumb lock on the room side of the doors. So basically both tenants lock their doors, and then the other tenant can't get in, so they go in and have their shower, and if they tried that other person's door, it'll be locked. That's the first challenge. The second challenge hasn't been addressed, and I think it really should be, because frankly, if you have two people in those two rooms who don't know each other, you need a little bit of reassurance that they're not going to come into the shower when you're having a shower. So the other challenge is what happens when one person goes into the shower, the person in room 1, and then they want to make sure that the person in room 2 does not come into the room while they're having their shower. And vice versa. So if the person in room 2 goes in, has their shower, they want to make sure that the person from room 1 does not come in. Because obviously they have control over the locks. It's the people who own those rooms or are in those rooms that are controlling those locks. So what I was looking for was a solution that enabled us to actually lock both doors from within the shower simultaneously. And the only solution I could come up with was to use some form of electrical door lock. Now, it's quite important that the door lock is fail-safe, so if the power fails, the doors are unlocked, so there's no chance of anyone getting locked in a power cut. So what we've actually come up with, I actually looked into this and I found these online. These are some very reasonably priced electromagnetic door locks. If you look inside here, I'll show you what they look like. So this goes on the door frame and this goes on the door itself. And these are the cables, which are a bit short, and very usefully, they are 12 volts. And that's very important because we're in a bathroom, so it needs to be low voltage. And so the idea is that we have one of these on each door frame, and we have one of these controlling them, which is basically a pull switch. And it's got a neon on it there, so you can see when it's on. The pull switch enables us to control whether the locks are on or off. So the idea is that one of the tenants goes into the shower room, they pull this cord, the light comes on, the electromagnets are activated, so both doors lock. That means that whether the tenant in the other room has unlocked their door or not, they can't get into the shower room. Very, very neat solution. However, there is a slight chance, there is an issue, that is potentially, if it's not used correctly, i.e. someone goes in, they open the door, they go in, they turn on the lock, but they don't close their door, they have their shower, and then they come out, and then they close their door. You could end up with a situation where this is still on, and they end up locking both doors without anyone in the shower room.
And then the problem here is that no one can get into the bathroom.
Which is an interesting dilemma, and it's likely to happen because, in my experience as a landlord, if something is going to go wrong, it will do. So then I got to thinking, how do we stop that? Now, went through loads and loads of different ideas, one of which was to put switches on the doors themselves. Those switches potentially would enable us to know whether the doors are closed. And actually what you could do is potentially only lock the doors when both doors are closed. However, that still doesn't stop someone from going in there, thinking the door is locked by activating it, having a shower, coming out and then closing the door. And then you still have the situation where the shower room is locked with no one in it. So then I got to thinking, actually what we need is some way of knowing whether there's someone in the shower room. And in fact, we already have a way, because this particular shower room, as with a lot of rooms in HMO properties like this one, there is a motion sensor. And the motion sensor is used to turn the light on and off so that we don't have lights left on. However, of course, we can also take a feed from that to feed our door locks. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to take a feed from the motion sensor. It's going to go in to this switch, out of this switch, into a step down transformer, and it's an SELV transformer, which means it's safe for bathrooms. And out of there, we're going to have two cables going to these electromagnetic door locks. And because these are 12 volts, we can put them anywhere in the bathroom. They're not going to be in any dangerous zones, but they can be anywhere in the bathroom according to regulations. We do need to make sure that this transformer is out of, I think it's zone 2, which it will be, and we'll put it in the ceiling.
So we have the same scenario. Someone goes into the bathroom, they forget to close the door, they turn the lock on, they have their shower, they come out and they close the door. The difference is that as the shower itself is now empty, after a set period of time, the lights will go off and that will then deactivate the doors, and at that point they can get back into the bathroom. It's also probably worth saying that if the PIR did fail, the other way to get into the room would be to actually just turn the lighting circuit off at the fuse box.
So looking at the specifications for these locks, it says that they draw 400 milliamps. So at 12 volts, that is 4.8 watts. And we've got two of them. So that's 9.6 watts. This transformer is 16 watts. So it's well within the power range. As I said, this cable is actually able to take 1.4 kilowatts, so we haven't got a problem there. So we should be fine. And as I say, it's a very interesting challenge. One thing I would say is that I will get this checked over with an electrician friend of mine afterwards, and I would say if you are embarking on anything like this, do make sure that you have it properly checked, and if you are not comfortable doing electrics, do not do it. Electrics are dangerous anyway, particularly in a bathroom. So as a further check, just to make sure everything's working the way I expect it to, I've just connected this transformer up to the mains over here, and I've got the lock all set up. So if I put the door part on top, I turn it on, hear it click, and it's going nowhere. So that's a good sign.
So one of the things I discovered doing this experiment is that the transformer needs to be a non-electronic dimmable transformer. So a constant voltage transformer. If you don't use that, you'll have all sorts of strange results, which is what I discovered initially. So to make it easier to extend the cables, I actually removed this plate from the magnets. I drilled a slightly bigger hole in the plate to enable my slightly wider cable to go through. I stripped the internal cables and soldered them onto the new cable, and I used heat shrink to insulate them. Remember, this is just 12 volts, so it's important they're insulated, but it's not dangerous like mains voltage. So that's all we've got time for in this episode. Please do subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see episode 2. That is where I'm going to go to the property and actually fit this. And it really does make a difference. Right now, I haven't got enough subscriptions to monetize this video, and it will be wonderful to be able to do this and actually make some money out of it. So hopefully see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.